It's definitely, up and down year, obviously. It's one of the craziest seasons I've been a part of in, my 7 years. But I think what we did after All-Star break was great. And, we could have mailed it in a bunch of times and we didn't. We showed our resilience and, forced our way to the playoffs.
What made it crazy?
Losing on buzzer beaters, tip-ins. I think our first month we were the last team in historically bad defensively. I had never been part of that before. Seeing 80 points in the half, that was pretty crazy. I mean, I'm sure it was great for basketball fans, but it was terrible for us. And then, it's just the injuries. Every time we were trying to get back up, a new person got injured, and that was definitely tough.
How would you describe your season individually?
No, I think it's just, form of what I just said, man. It's an up and down year. Getting acclimated, starting off slow to finding my rhythm, to breaking my hand to, trying to try to get, reacclimated. Obviously, the biggest thing was, making the playoffs and trying to make a push. But, I think a lot of us was pretty much a form of the unit.
Do you feel like you got some clarity about sort of how you fit with this group?
Somewhat. When it comes down to it, when I was finding my way, it's before we got Nurkic. So obviously it's off season, and next season is going to be huge to get acclimated and playing with him even more and just adjusting. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to come out and try to guard and play the best I can offensively. With the opportunities I get. But other than that, it's just competing and most importantly winning.
What are the challenges of integrating with Nurkic for you?
I mean, we were just playing on the fly. So the biggest thing was there wasn't really any practice time or anything like that, and that it wasn't. He's a great basketball mind and knowledge, and he has knowledge of the game. And it shouldn't be a problem or anything. It was just everything's just so much on the fly. We were so deep into trying to make the playoffs and stuff. So it's just a different vibe. I think obviously the summertime and training camp next year is going to help us a lot. Even more as a unit.
Looking back at it now, what was it like playing with such a big contract?
I mean, it's great playing with such a big contract. I mean, it is what it is.
Did you find that there was pressure with it, or?
No, there's no pressure. Honestly, I don't. I think you guys probably just think I'm lying when I say this stuff. I don't know what's going on outside of my own. You know what I'm saying? What's going on in general? I don't too much worry about outside the locker room or anything like that. I don't mind sacrificing myself for the squad or anything else like that. So somebody be like, what's he doing or anything else. If I came out and I guarded one of the better scorers in the league or, did my job for that night or got rebounds or got stops or whatever, and we won, that's all that matters. If you judge me off you judge me off this and the other one I'm averaging, I can combat it and say I got 5 shots. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that stuff is just for the masses, I'm only worried about what the coaches think, what my teammates think, and how I can help day in and day out. And, I don't worry about too much about a contract or anything else like that. I've been blessed to, be able to make it this far, be able to live a dream, and be able to get paid to do what I do, and that's enough. But other than that, you could say this and the other, but I can bat it with, all right, so what does this mean, or what does that mean? What does this mean? You got to look at the whole picture, and I think a lot of times people don't look at the whole picture, and, at the end of the day, the biggest picture, most important thing is how you end and collectively as a unit, and, finding your niche and finding what you can do, and that's the only thing I really focus on. I could be immature and say, hey, I did this here, or I did this there, or this is how I'm supposed to be utilized. It's not about that. I came back, and we're trying to make a playoff push, and it's about the unit, and you finish that off, and you leave at that.
How would you judge, though, maybe what you expected coming here, and then what happened this year? What was different than you thought might be, or was it what you expected?
I don't think you could ever really prepare for, really a year we really had, with the injuries, being 10 games below 500 to, things like that. So obviously, like I said, it's one of the craziest seasons I've been a part of in my NBA career. So, definitely, I'm going to look at it as a positive where, it can't get any worse from here, in regards to how up and down we were. But, it's just, I think it was a big learning curve for a lot of us.
Is there any transition for you from playing East your whole career to coming over here to the West Coast?
No, not really. obviously when you're perceived as one of the better defenders on the team, I guess you got to guard a way better matchup, night in and night out. Obviously you go from guarding Durant to Harden to, maybe Kawhi. Sometimes you might switch on a Mike Conley, so that could be the bigger difference than anything else. But it wasn't anything else besides that, and it's just basketball.
Can you describe more what you mean by it was a big learning curve for a lot of us?
I think the biggest thing was obviously we had like a lot of guys back. I was the only new piece, but I think from what it seemed like, I think a lot of people were somewhere trying to figure out how to adapt to start the season. You know what I'm saying? In my personal opinion, to adapt to start the season and somewhat get in where they fit in, and I think that was the biggest thing. Learning curve in regards to what we were doing wrong to be 30th. In defensively, and then bump up and battle through being being down 10 games under 500 and things like that. That's a lot of stuff, especially on a young team, and going through injuries and adapting to injuries, to doing a big trade with Mason Plumlee to get Nurkic, and so obviously I think it definitely was a year where it tested us. We kind of sharpened our blade, and hopefully next year we hit the ground running.
Couple more questions.
How do you look at next year, and how do you view what's ahead?
No, obviously it's a year where we have to start off better. That's all I think. It's another year of having a little bit more experience as a unit, and taking full advantage of it, and I think most importantly, governing ourselves. Obviously, coach is going to put us in a position to be as successful as possible, but governing ourselves and the difference, like we said, the difference between playing for the 8th seed or playing for the 6th seed was like 3 or 4 games. Starting off early and losing some games early on, could definitely helped us, as opposed to having the last week of the season having to hope another team beat the Nuggets, or worrying about what we had to do and things like that. Not so much backing ourselves deep into a corner.
Evan, will there be a point of emphasis in your off-season workouts?
I mean, clearly, I always want to just become a better shooter, especially playing so heavy off the ball with the guards and things like that. I think another thing is also, just getting even better offensively, just knowing at the offensive playbook and things like that, just off the top of my head. I had things rolling prior to getting injured, where I felt like I had a pretty good understanding of the offense and flow and feel of everything. And when we just came back, we played a completely different way a little bit, and it's get in, fit in. But obviously, I just want to be better off the ball and give myself opportunity to help the team, and also not be such a liability in regards to people just leaving me open.